Woohoo! New contact.
To the Starfleet Training Center. Our system
Okay.
is currently configured to train command crew of Aegis-class starships. Here you may learn about the roles and responsibilities of each officer on the bridge, and how to operate all of the control of their command stations. Feel free to experiment and get comfortable with the ship here in the simulator before moving on to the real thing.
Oh. We're gonna do Captain. Oh. Alright, screw that
As
up. Yeah,
captain,
there we go.
you are in overall command of the crew. It is your responsibility to communicate with and to coordinate the actions of the other officers on the bridge. You'll receive important updates on mission status, and also have direct control of the main view screen. The captain's objectives feed contains vital information about your ship's mission. Updates from support crew and Starfleet Command are reflected here, so that you will always know what your crew needs to accomplish. Open the objectives feed now. Some objectives also have more detailed information. Sometimes you, as captain, must choose between different ways to complete an objective and direct your crew accordingly. In all cases, your crew depends on you to keep them informed of their goals. Select the objective for more information. Sometimes you will receive additional information to help with your mission. Keep an eye out for your intel feed, located near your objective readout for tips and hints.
No, I thought, suppose I'd do the next thing.
As captain, you can answer a hail when messages from Starfleet or other ships are received. If the message is accompanied by video, it will be displayed on the main view screen. Answer the incoming hail now.
Aegis, this is Captain Uku of USS Huxley. Our system checks are complete, we're ready to go. We'll stand by and follow you out when you're ready.
At any time while on the bridge, you can use an external view to see what is going on outside and around the ship. Hold the external view button now.
Ooh, pretty.
As captain, you can access basic information about your ship's status. Open your status displays now. The status information available to you is helpful, but no substitute for the more detailed knowledge of your chief engineer. As captain, you have the same maps at your fingertips as your helm and tactical officers. You may use these to aid communication, to identify a target for tactical, or to specify a destination for helm. Targets and nearby destinations are selected from the local map, which shows objects of interest around you. Open the local map view.
God, I'm retarded with my fingers.
Now touch any object on the map to select it as your target. Some orders you give to the crew require you to first designate a target or destination, exactly as you just did. When playing alone or with AI members of the command crew, the captain gives orders to the AI officers. To give an order to a specific officer, look at them and use the orders system to select from the available commands. Remember, some commands will first require that you select a target or destination. Try ordering your chief engineer to prioritize power to engines. Some orders apply to the entire crew. To access these orders, look towards the central console in front of you. First, select the closest ship from your local map. Then try ordering the crew to investigate it.
Aye, Captain. Maximizing power to engines.
Okay. Okay. Ah,
Look at the center, Kosho, and you...
no,
I-
no, no, the
What center
very
console? Yeah? What were the crew-wide orders I was supposed to initiate? I've forgotten.
Aye.
Staying with them. Updating target.
Ah, okay, that was what I was supposed
Initiating
to do.
scan. Full scan complete.
Impulse engines allow the ship to rapidly traverse great distances within a star system. When playing with an AI crew, you will need to choose a destination and give the orders to prepare for and initiate impulse travel. First, choose a destination from your impulse map. You need to select a destination from the impulse map. Now give the order to prepare for impulse. Your chief engineer will give more power to the engines, and your helmsman will lay in a course and align the ship. Tell the crew to engage impulse flight.
Making ready for impulse. Course plotted. On your mark. Aye, aye, Captain.
The ship's warp drive can generate a warp field, distorting space around the Aegis and allowing you to travel to other star systems much faster than the speed of light. When playing with an AI crew, the captain chooses a destination and gives the orders to prepare for and initiate warp travel. Always bear in mind that charging the warp coils consumes most of the ship's power. The Aegis will not be able to maintain a full combat stance during these critical seconds. To go to warp, first choose a destination from your warp map. You need to select a destination from the warp map. Now give the order to prepare for warp. Your chief engineer will direct power to the warp coils, and your helmsman will lay in a course and align the ship to the correct heading. Now tell your crew to engage the warp drive.
Course plotted.
Charged.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, we're clear of hostiles.
Captains have control of the main view screen. You may choose to display any of several different overlays on the view screen. With information about your ship's system status, try the different views and overlays available. Open your view screen controls now. The target and magnify views only work when you are targeting another ship or object. Magnify provides an up-close view of your selected target. Target view provides enhanced situational awareness, showing both your own ship and your target at once.
Okay, I've done.
Oh shit, you were quick.
It's pretty easy. I'm going to do tactical. I've done engineer. I'm going to do tactical.
Maybe you have less to look at. I had 12. I've got 12 topics I've got to go through.
No, I had 8.
Ah,
It's
okay.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
I'm going to do tactical.
You want to go through all the trainings before we start?
No, I reckon, because there's only 2 of us, but there's 4 positions,
Yep.
what we should do is, I'll do tactical and engineering, you do captain and helm.
Okay.
Sometimes, as captain, you may wish to take temporary control
Does the
over
captain
another
tell the
command
helm where to
station.
go?
This allows you to perform
So maybe I'll
any
just
of the
sort of go,
functions of that role.
I need to
Then
go
return to
there.
the captain's chair when ready.
Yeah, you
can,
pointed out
however,
something that
take
was actually
control
very
of the station
important.
currently being
It's a
operated
shame
by
you
the
aren't the
player.
helmsman.
Take
I'd
control
love
of
to tell
another
you where to
station.
go.
Look at any of your AI command crew and activate orders mode. Now choose the take over option. You can return to the captain's chair at any time by tapping the orders mode button again.
They've done that.
Okay. Who was I supposed to take over? I really should listen to that shit. Okay, now I don't know who I was supposed to take over. Oh, maybe I'm hitting the wrong button. That's what I'm doing. Yep, that was what I was doing. Cool. Ooh, I get to go to Red Alert.
In emergency situations, you can sound a red alert to notify your ship's crew. If you are playing with an AI as tactical officer, she will interpret a red alert as a request to prepare for combat. Try activating red alert now.
Shields raised.
Nice. Oh, cool. That helps. Alright. And you want me to do helm, did you say?
As helmsman, you are the ship's navigator.
Yep. I'm cool. I was just
responsible
making
for
sure.
maneuvering the ship and navigating within and between
I
star
know there's-
systems.
I know there's
Your
the
crew
AI
depends
that
on you
takes
to get
over
the
this.
ship wherever needed.
If shit's going south,
Hazards in
yep.
space, and to maneuver for tactical advantage in combat situations.
We've got to do that again.
Your local map can be used to mark ships and objects as waypoints, to check your proximity to hazards, and gauge when you are close to being detected by hostiles. Touch any target on the map to select it. Your basic maneuvering controls allow you to give the ship forward or reverse thrust, to steer the ship to port or starboard, and to move the ship up or down on its vertical axis. The amount of thrust you can give depends on the amount of power your chief engineer allocates to engines. The more power your engines have, the the more responsive the ship will be. Maneuvering controls are only available when your local map view is active. The throttle controls your speed and also allows you to reverse or make a full stop. Your ship's impulse drive allows you to travel quickly between planets and other points of interest within a star system. To travel via impulse, you will first need to plot a course by choosing a destination on the impulse map. Once the course is plotted, you will then need to align your ship with the appropriate heading and engage the impulse drive. Be aware, the impulse drive cannot be engaged unless the chief engineer has allocated sufficient power. Switch to your impulse map. Select any point of interest in the star system to plot a course to that destination. Now return to the local view and steer the ship to line up with your plotted course. Grab and push your throttle to engage the impulse drive. The ship's computer will automatically follow the course you plotted.
No course plotted.
The ship's warp drive can distort space around the ship to propel it faster than light across the vast distances between star systems. The tremendous amount of energy needed for warp travel will require you to coordinate closely with the chief engineer. To travel by warp, it is your responsibility to plot a course by selecting a star system on your warp map. When the course is plotted, you will need to align the ship with the proper heading. Before you can enter warp, your chief engineer will have to prepare the ship and charge the warp coils. Open your warp map now. Select a star system to plot a course to it. Now return to the local view and steer the ship to line up with your plotted course. Push your throttle to engage the warp drive. The warp coils can only remain charged for a limited time. The chief engineer will need to prepare the ship for warp again. Various systems of the ship affect how easily other vessels can detect the Aegis. The Aegis is designed to avoid detection at ranges where other Federation vessels would be easily visible to another ship's sensors. As helmsman, the more thrust you are using, the farther away the Aegis can be detected. On your local map, you'll see a ring that expands and contracts as the ship's signature increases or decreases. When other ships come within that ring, they will detect the Aegis.
Alright, I'm done on that one. How much have you got to go?
Two more.
Alright. Well, I'm going to start doing tactical. I can always stop out late after.
Defenses and scanners. In combat situations, you must coordinate with the rest of the bridge crew to protect the ship and deal with any threats to it. But you also have a crucial role in non-combat situations. It is the tactical officer's responsibility to scan nearby ships and other objects in the environment to reveal vital information about them. In order to scan anything or to fire on it, you must first target it. To select a target, simply select the appropriate icon on your map. Once you've selected a target, A display will show all currently known information about your selection. Target a nearby ship by tapping its icon on the map. You will often need to scan a target to learn more about it, or to locate people or objects of interest in another vessel. Some objects are scanned with a simple, general scanning action. This happens automatically when the object is targeted. More complex objects, like other ships, can be scanned for specific properties, such as the locations of any weak points in a ship's system. When an object has many features to scan, scanning them all at once is much slower than scanning a single specific system. Scanning is required before it's possible to transport people or cargo off of another vessel, or before being able to target weak spots of an enemy's ship systems. Target a nearby ship by tapping its icon on the map. Here you can select what systems you want to scan. Scanning a single system will always be faster than scanning multiple at once. Also, the closer the ship is to the target, the faster you can scan. Scan the ship's engines now to reveal their status, and any weak points which would allow you to damage the engines directly.
Do you think they'd come up with better recharging in the 20 whatever century this is? Oh god.
Oh yeah, 24 people. Right now it's...
As tactical officer, you have control over raising and lowering the ship's shields. When raised, the shields will charge up to maximum strength over time. They are your best defense against damage to the ship. When shields are lowered or down to 0 strength, any damage to the ship may cause serious harm to onboard systems, or even loss of life to your crew. When shields are raised, the chief engineer can direct power to them to increase their effectiveness. Raise the shields now. There is a delay while power is channeled into the shield emitters before the shields come online. In a combat situation, remember that you need to raise shields before the enemy fires. Photon torpedoes are a devastating weapon. They can automatically track a moving target and deliver heavy damage on impact. However, before you can fire them, you must first give the order to arm them. Arm your torpedoes now. Each torpedo tube takes time to load. Your supply of torpedoes for any mission is limited, so use them wisely. Target the nearby ship and fire torpedoes at it. Phasers are a versatile energy weapon. They continually charge over time, and when fully charged, your phaser banks hold enough energy to fire multiple shots at your target. Phaser banks automatically track your target, but only if it is within the indicated firing arc and within the current range of your weapons. The effective range and damage of your phasers is controlled by the amount of energy the chief engineer allocates to them. Target the nearby ship and fire phasers at it.
God, everything seems so quick on the TV show.
Yeah.
Phasers can be used to precisely target weak spots of another vessel. To use this ability, you must first scan the
But we
desired
are on an
subsystem of the
NX
target,
class ship,
such as
so
its weapons or engine.
yeah, it's still
Once
testing.
scanned, you must then select that system.
There's my
As
excuse.
long as a scanned system is selected, phasers will auto-target that system's weak points. To hit a subsystem, the target's shields must be down or inactive. Second, your ship must be correctly facing the targeted point. If the target's shields are raised, or you are attacking from the wrong angle, firing in subsystem targeting mode will do minimal damage. When dealing with other ships, targeting individual systems is a good way to disable them or neutralize a threat without outright destroying the ship. This may sometimes be necessary to accomplish your mission objectives. Target the nearby ship and scan its weapons systems. Scan the ship's engines now to reveal their status and any weak points which would allow you to damage the engines directly. Now select the ship's weapon systems to lock on to their weak points. Your phasers are now in subsystem targeting mode. Fire them for a precision attack. Until the target's shields are down, you will not be able to hit the targeted system. Damage the targeted system. Various systems of the ship affect how easily other vessels can detect the Aegis. The Aegis is designed to avoid detection at ranges where other
This could
Federation
so
vessels
easily
would
be turned
easily
into a
visible to another
PvP
ship's
game.
Sensors. As tactical officer, arming torpedoes, firing weapons, and activating
This could so easily be turned into group PvP. 4 people commanding a ship versus another 4.
Torpedoes and lower shields now. The Aegis's prototype remote intrusion system can be used to send encoded signals and disrupt critical systems of other ships. Before it can be
Especially
used,
with being able
the
to
tactical officer must
target
scan the
subsystems.
target. Once a scanned target is selected, an intrusion into its control systems is attempted via an automated routine. If successful, you may then choose to attempt any of the available disruption routines to temporarily cripple a specific system. Activate the remote intrusion system. Target a nearby ship by tapping its icon on the map.
Oh fuck, I've got... Tactical has a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, alright, I'm doing that now.
Select a scan target.
Crap, I forgot.
Choose a disruption routine to inject into the target systems. Very good.
Sorry?
Once used, the remote intrusion system will be fully
Yeah.
occupied and unable to disrupt another target or system for some time.
It's all good. I can give you my stream. But it'll show me playing while you're chatting, so probably know exactly what you wanted.
I'll just start it now.
Yeah.
Your ship is equipped with standard transporters for beaming objects or personnel aboard from other vessels or locations. Transporting first requires the tactical officer to scan the target vessel or location. If any mission-critical items or personnel to transport, the target will appear on the transporter interface. It will take time to acquire a lock-on before you can beam. and you must remain in range for the lock to succeed. The transporter cannot penetrate through your ship's own shields or those of another ship, so you must coordinate with Tactical to make sure your shields are down when you need to transport. If you are attempting to beam something from a hostile vessel, your crew will first have to disable its shields. Activate the transporter interface. Target a nearby ship by tapping its icon on the map. Select the damaged ship from the list of targets. Lock onto the survivors aboard the ship to prepare for transport. To lock on, your ship must be in transport range and unshielded. The target's shield, if any, must also be down. You have transporter lock on the survivors. Give the order to energize. The survivors are now safely aboard the Aegis, but you can only transport 6 at a time. Anytime there are more than 6 targets to transport from a single vessel, you will need to perform multiple transport cycles.
I've just done tactical. I've only got engineering to go. Should I just do it?
Yeah, go do it.
As Chief Engineer, you support all other members of the bridge crew by keeping the Aegis operating in top condition. You monitor vital status information about the ship's systems,
Yeah.
allocate power needed for maneuvering and combat, and manage the ship's power grid to compensate for damage or boost its capabilities. You also manage the ship's repair teams. And
Sorry?
keep an eye on how visible the Aegis is to other ships in the
Charging
area.
subsystems. How did you fly through that one?
That was fucking easy. I just understood
This
it.
display gives vital information about the
I
status
used to,
of various
lower,
systems at all times.
destroying the enemy shields. I used
Suffering from
torpedoes.
negative effects. This panel provides information about the
Well,
source and severity of the effect. As
The
Chief
torpedoes
Engineer, you have more
take
detail
each
about your
torpedo
ship's
takes
status
about
than
30,
any other
40%
member.
of
Activate
shields.
your systems display now.
Then how did you do the transporter where you got to transport across 24 people? It's so slow.
I only had to transport 6 before it allowed me to move on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, no, not 6, 12. Once I initiated the second one, it skipped me out. It said I could keep on going, so I did because I understood it.
How you allocate power determines how effective each of those systems is. As situations change, you'll need to communicate with the rest of the
Yep.
crew to keep them supplied with power and to anticipate when to make critical adjustments. One of your most essential responsibilities as Chief Engineer is to distribute available power between each of the ship's major systems. Try giving maximum power to engines now. Now try giving maximum power to shields. You will have to reduce power to other systems first.
And I know what help overlays. Okay. Okay, that's done. I don't really want to do any others, but I will.
Oh, just in case you need to understand them. You know, being good at something, you need to know what your other people are doing as well.
I'll do helm.
Yep. Helm is actually pretty simple.
Before the ship can travel between star systems, you must make the ship ready and charge.
The longest one was Captain.
This draws a tremendous amount of power, and you will be unable to make any further changes to power allocation or routing while prepping for warp. Begin preparing for warp now. Charge the warp coils. The helmsman will have a limited time to engage the warp drive, or the coils will automatically discharge to prevent damage to the ship.
Warp
Wow,
coils
that-
charged.
Cool.
When the ship sustains damage, it's up to you to deploy repair crews and get critical systems back in working order. You have a limited number of crews available. You may send multiple crews to repair a single system faster, or you may spread them out to work on multiple systems at once. Activate your repair controls now. We have simulated damage to your phaser banks and scanners. Assign repair crews to both systems to get them back to full working condition.
Phaser array restored. Sensor array restored.
It's possible to increase the power to one or more systems beyond normal safe operating limits by rerouting the ship's power grid. Switch to rerouting mode now. Try diverting extra power to shields by dragging an adjacent power node over to it. You have increased maximum shield strength by drawing some power from other systems. This situation is risky, though. The extra power flowing through those conduits could cause internal damage. When you use the rerouting system, you must keep an eye on the power grid and be ready to make changes as needed. Various systems of the ship affect how easily other vessels can detect the Aegis. The Aegis is designed to avoid detection at ranges where other Federation vessels would be easily visible to another ship's sensors. As Chief Engineer, you can monitor all systems which are affecting the ship's signature and gauge the range at which the Aegis will be detectable to other vessels. This information is vital when trying to avoid contact with hostile ships.
And that's me done. It says quit. Okay, I guess I will.